Well, hello there, lovely listeners and viewers. You are back down the red rabbit hole, and we have missed you something chronic, haven't we, Lisa, my co-host?
Of course. I always miss them when they're not here. It's just me mainly talking at you, and you just like go, Lisa, I don't want to hear from you anymore. Leave me alone.
Yes,
So then I just have to talk to the wall, the
the
worms.
worms. I was going to say that, and the
That's about
carrots.
it. Yeah, the worms, the occasional maggot if one drops down.
Oh,
Beetles, sometimes they come down.
well, I'm
But
busy
yeah,
writing. That's my problem, Lisa, because I am
of
author N V
course.
Peacock, aren't I? Otherwise known as Nikki.
And I'm busy doing nothing
You're busy
because I
doing
am
twiddling your
Lisa Shepherd,
thumbs.
Queen of Nothing.
You are queen of nothing. You have been out and about with your sack again, kidnapping
I
authors.
have.
And
I
we have a
have. That's what
lovely
I
one.
do. Mainly, I'm just plotting the kidnap of
Kidnapping.
authors.
Yes, you're a
Mm.
kidnapper. That's your
Find
job
other people to
title.
talk to when
Yes,
you ignore me.
I'm not that mean. That's a form of abuse, the silent treatment.
Oh, well, you called yourself out there, mate.
I know. Oops. But we do have, so you don't get ignored, we've got the lovely author D.E. White with us. Hello,
Hello,
D.E.
hello.
It's hard, isn't it?
It's lovely to be here. And I have also, I just said earlier, I have brought a cat down the rabbit hole. He's just here. And he can't wait to meet everybody. And I think this is the first time
What,
we've had a
Oh,
what,
cat down the rabbit hole.
what's his name?
He's called Lion.
Lion. Oh,
like, do you
can,
reckon? Does he like elderly
yeah.
cats?
Oh no, you're not
We
matchmaking.
have we. I have an elderly cat called Lily. Lily and
Oh,
Lion feel like a good match.
I think they
Yeah,
could. Yeah,
It
I
would
think
give
she
her
that's
something
definitely,
to live for, surely.
yeah.
yeah. That's like a meet
was
cute thing, isn't it?
Cats are very popular on our TikTok. There's a few videos of Lily because when she sleeps like she's dead. So there's a few videos of where I'm recording her and I'm like, is this cat dead or is it alive? Let's
Oh,
It's
check.
the Schrodinger, isn't it, that we do? Yeah,
Oh yeah,
God,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. She
Schrodinger's
took to
cat.
sleeping in boxes for a bit. So there's one where I've got a box and I'm just going,
Just check,
dead,
just double check.
sleeping, dead,
You never know.
sleeping.
Well, we'll await with bated breath for when Lion decides to jump in front of the camera for us.
Yeah, he's doing the Schrodinger's cat as well at the moment. Not
Oh,
sure
is
which
he?
end is ahead, but we're
Oh,
fine. We're all good.
oh. Well, what are you here to talk about today? Because we've got an interesting double episode coming up, haven't we?
Lots and lots of true crime from different perspectives. Because at the moment I have a cozy crime series that's coming out. It's kind of being reissued, and it's set around 60s crime in Brighton.
Oh,
So I absolutely went mad on the research with that one because it was so interesting. And my aunts also grew up in Brighton. They were teenagers in the 60s. So when I started asking them about, they were like, oh, we'll give you all the gossip. We'll tell you about so-and-so who murdered so-and-so. I was like, oh, so that was brilliant. And then I've also got some new thrillers coming out. The first one is coming out next summer. So that's kind of current true crime that I've done research on. So it's all crime in my household, basically.
it's crime in
What we
both of
like
ours. I
best.
know, yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Brighton in the 60s instantly makes me think of Brighton Rock.
Oh,
Yes.
And that's definitely not cozy, that book, is it?
No,
It's the very opposite of cozy.
no. And it was funny because I was convinced that when I said to my aunts, I thought they were going to go, oh, yeah, we went down, had a milkshake at the milk bar or whatever. And they were like, no, we were out partying. We were solid, proper partying. And then they would tell me about this nightclub that they went to where this guy, they talk about the London boys quite a lot. Just the London boys were always coming down to Brighton and they always had gangs. So they would come down with their gangs. And I thought this was going to be to do with the mods and rockers. And apparently
Yeah.
it wasn't. It was proper gangs, as in if I was writing Gangland now, it's that kind of thing. And she said, you know them because they'd have really sharp suits and the hair would all be slicked back. So like real caricatures of gangland. And yeah, they were telling me all the gossip about who murdered who.
And who
I know,
did murder who?
Yeah, well, I want to know.
Who are we talking about?
there's a couple of nightclubs that they mentioned in Brighton, and obviously they're both closed now. They are not there anymore.
Oh, but where are they?
No. So
Where are
Because
they?
you've got those. What I'm thinking. Do you know what would be a real? Well, what kind of sparks my mind? Across the front, across the beach, you've got
Yeah.
some that are in the little alcoves underneath. There's
Yeah,
bars, aren't there? I thought that would be a great place for some sort of 60s crime den bar.
that would be proper sordid. I think there were quite a few up in the lanes, so up sort of the top end, and there was Whiskey A Go Go. No murders in there, but apparently in the flat above, one of the London boys kept one of his mistresses. So he was married in London, he kept a mistress there. But she was also having an affair with one of his friends, and it all went wrong. And so she ended up getting murdered. I couldn't actually find anything out about this to prove. Like, I did have a real look online because I was going, what was his name? They were like, his name was Harley. And I was like, really? What was his surname? But there are a couple of kind of suggestions that there was a nightclub owner who did murder a mistress, but it seems to come up in various different forms. So I'm not sure how much that they had been drinking, perhaps, when these kind of rumours are around. But I do think the whole gangland vibe was definitely there. And they are basically saying there was a lot more crime in the 60s than you would expect. It wasn't just kind of the really lovely nostalgia and then the mini skirts. And they also said that they found as teenagers, they did have a lot more freedom, but they were able to get into a lot more trouble as well. There was one of their friends had a load of teenage girls, and they would used to go and nick things from the shops, and like, it sounded quite funny when they were talking about it, but actually they used to go and steal clothes because they were on a really low wage. And I was like, oh, okay. And they used to do it quite seriously. So they were always beautifully dressed apparently, but actually it was a gang of girls really going and stealing clothes from other businesses. So I got a lot of that, and a lot of the stuff that I was trying to research, it seemed to be that a lot of it, that they were right, a lot of it didn't get reported, which I found quite interesting, that there was a really close-knit community and they didn't want people to get into trouble, or if they did get into trouble, they tended to try and sort it out themselves without getting the police involved. They were really anti-police, my aunts, and they're kind of the people they hung out with. They wouldn't tell anyone if there was a crime. They wanted to kind of just deal with it. And
it was the time of young people, wasn't it? Because, and it does still happen now, but like, I think in the 60s, mods, rockers were really like the ousted members of society, like youth of that time. That was when the big stereotypes around youth existed, and that they were troublesome, they would always be, they were a risk to others, they were dangerous. So I can kind of see where that mistrust comes from, because they probably, and to be honest, they probably weren't being kept safe, were they? Because wasn't it so some of the tussles between the mods and rockers on the beach, I think the police were kind of like, like, not much we can do, we're not getting involved, and kind of just letting it play itself out. So
it's true. And I think one of my aunts had a boyfriend, and he used to keep a bicycle chain in his pocket, and that was like the weapon of choice. It was, you had a bike chain in your pocket and you could look after yourself. I was like, oh, okay, that's
but then your bike gets nicked.
I mean, how would you ride your bike?
Well, they can't pedal it away. So they just be going round in circles on the spot.
I thought you meant like a chain to like keep it in place.
I thought you meant the chain that goes round the wheel.
Oh, is it? I know nothing of bikes. Yeah.
Oh no, I was thinking of the what's it called?
Aren't
the
they
bit that
too
goes between.
big?
Yeah, it's the thing. Yeah.
This is why we need a man on the podcast.
If you hit somebody with that, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah, it is gonna hurt, and it's gonna leave a really big mark, because people would have scars with this bike chain.
Oh gosh, the shape of it.
Yeah,
the pattern. Oh
yeah.
Gosh, yeah.
It's
a bit
quite
brutal, isn't it? Thinking of that in someone's pocket as your kind of weapon of choice. You're watching out if anyone's got one of those. I mean, now I mean, we say things have changed, haven't they? But actually, I think there's a little bit of probably gang warfare between young people as we kind of see it now. It probably involves a lot of knives, and knives are the kind of choice thing to have in your pocket. And I also think, as much as there is a lot of work trying to reduce knife crime, I also think the police are probably still a bit,
Hands off.
can we do anything?
Yeah, it is really, yeah, some things, as you say, the train seem to translate straight back into sort of modern day. And, I worry about my teenage boys going out and doing their thing and what parties they're at and what's going on. And that kind of human interaction hasn't really changed that much. They're still going and doing their thing, and there's still people who want to cause trouble and who want to cause harm, and they will find a way to do it, won't they?
Yeah. Yeah, and I suppose that is when you're looking at modern day crime. That's a lot of what, there's particularly shocking cases of young people, particularly the ones, that are in broad daylight, that
Mm.
seem really over very, very trivial things that
Mm.
seem really not to have needed to have happened,
Yeah, yeah.
without a little bit of work a bit earlier on for some of those young people.
There's I actually heard a talk. There's a charity called Martin's Charlie's Promise, actually, and the dad is Martin Costa, and he lost his son Charlie, who was murdered at a teenage party a couple of years ago, and he's doing amazing work going around to charities and schools and talking about knife crime and just explaining how you can report knife crime and explaining to the kids like why not to carry a knife, but also to people who are afraid of people who are carrying knives, they like you can report them, and how to report it. It's really hard hitting. I don't know how his family are kind of managing to do it, but it's incredible.
I think I saw him on a documentary.
Yeah, it was
I was
something that the
watching a
60's had.
documentary and I'm sure he was featured on there.
Yeah, he's been on quite recently. But that is, yeah, incredible what his family are doing. And I've made sure that both my kids have kind of taken that in, and they've got helpline numbers and things, because that's kind of what you can do. But in the 60's, yeah, they did their
Bicycle
thing.
chains,
And
yeah.
yeah, and they came home, and then they, according to my aunts, they went to bed and then got up in the morning for work. Both my aunts were started off as secretaries, and then one went into nursing training. So I used one of my characters in the Sussex Mysteries is doing her nurse training, because it was really interesting that they would then go out partying all night and then go in as student nurses and do
Didn't we all when we were younger and could cope with that? I mean, I wasn't a nurse. I worked in retail, but I did used to go in a bit.
Was this your HMV job?
Yes,
The
it
record
is.
shops
Yeah,
are
yeah, I
available,
did used
guys.
to, yeah, I did, yeah. Sorry to any former bosses I've had at HMV, but yeah, we'd get
Hang
bladdered
on,
the night before and
didn't
then
you
stroll
win?
in.
Didn't you win Rear of the Year
I
once?
did, yeah. I
Yes.
did. One of my proudest achievements. I've still got the little certificate up on my wall. My rear is long
Very
gone.
impressive. Very impressive.
I
That's
worked
like
for
CV
it. Like
worthy.
every time anyone was going past, I kept going, "Oh, just picking up this CD off the floor."
Doing the snap.
Yeah. It was a great job. I'm glad they've survived, actually, HMV. I'm glad that they're still there and they're still going, because it's been touch and go for a while. They were great people to work for, because they were great. You had great fun. You had great sort of people that you worked with, and they loved a bit of dressing up, and I loved a bit of dressing up. So they'd always kind of like, for the releases, I think I dressed up as Kill Bill when they or in the yellow jumpsuit with blood splatter on it when Kill Bill came out, just for the release day. I just said, "Can I dress up?" And they were like, "Yeah, all right." Okay.
Did you have the sword as well?
I don't think I had a sword, because
Do you at least
we're
have a
in wood
bicycle
green.
chain?
This is HMV in wood green.
Oh,
So
okay,
yeah, we were a
perhaps
little
not.
bit probably be a little bit wary of that one. But yeah, I loved that job. Yeah. But yeah, I was definitely used to get up. We used to just all sort of drag ourselves up. I'd go, like, I'd be drinking with colleagues, and then we'd get ourselves up and go to work the next morning. Don't know how I managed it.
I
Like
don't know how we
now.
did it. I don't know how we did it. I can't imagine doing that now. And I used to do the same. I was cabin crew for 12 years. And when I started, I was
Wow.
19. So yes, I would do the same. We would go out and party all night and then we'd get up in the morning and do a flight to Mombasa and go, oh God, I'm so tired.
You'll be on your feet the entire time. You've got to be grinning and nice to people the entire time.
That's a lot of
That's
energy, but
hard.
I guess it
Yeah.
depends as a person how you get your energy, because you've got like introverts that get their energy by being alone and resting, whereas extroverts actually get their energy from other people. So if you're an extrovert and you get your energy from other people, then you can probably power through anyway.
Mm. I
Or
think I'm
just
definitely
youth.
Youth. Is that
Youth.
says rear of the year winner, Lisa
Yeah, that was a
Garrett.
very long time ago, Nikki. We're talking when I was like 18, 19 years old, 20 years old.
It should be on your
Long
CV
gone.
though. It should definitely, at least on your LinkedIn profile. I
Oh
would.
yeah, that would be hilarious.
I'd have to put
You
it though on
still
my LinkedIn profile.
have you still got the
It
sash?
would have to be like an abbreviation because that's that's what I BAMA, MHFA. Like I just have a loads of letters after my name on
And then a peach.
ROU, ROY. What's ROY? That's rear of the year.
Rear of the year with a peach.
ROY HMV circa 2001.
It would be a talking point though, wouldn't it? I bet nobody else has got that on their LinkedIn profile.
I don't know, the year after. I mean, I always talk about it like that was the only year it happened. It could still be going. There could be
You need to find out.
Oh, what if a serial killer was like targeting all the Rear of the Year award winners? Then you'd be, oh no, don't put it on LinkedIn. It seems like a calling card.
That'd be the last he'd get
She's
to.
the author.
It'd be like, oh, I was gonna come and get you, and then I saw your rear, and I realised that it was irrelevant these days to you.
Oh,
Now
he's a
your
self-esteem
rear
killer.
has gone downhill with the rest of you.
Oh,
You can live.
That's like FHM days, isn't it? All the lads mags, nuts and all
Oh
that.
gosh, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure they had stuff like Rear of the Year and
yeah.
I remember seeing all
I think
that.
they did, and it probably, it probably is quite, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet there wasn't a male rear of the year. It wasn't even. There was only
No.
a female rear of the year. And also it was just called rear of the year. We didn't have girls or boys, so they just assumed it was a female rear of the year.
that's a
Yeah.
big
I,
debate
That's
we're
the
going to
early
start
noughties
getting
for you.
into.
That's the naughty, isn't it, for you?
Let's not trigger the manosphere.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. We don't want them here.
No.
No thanks, guys.
another rabbit hole.
So, I mean, the big thing between the kind of 60s and now regarding like true crime, when I started looking into the 60s and the crimes that were happening, it was just as bad. It just was in a different way, because obviously now we've got social media and we've got more ways of being nasty to one another. But in terms of the 60s, even though it was coming into kind of peace and love and all that, it was still quite violent and horrible.
Yeah, there was still a lot going on, and I say that really did surprise me. And also, I mean, yeah, you're completely right. When something happens now, we see it, don't we? I say on X, it's on Facebook, it's all over us, and we know it doesn't matter where it is in the world or where it is in the country. But in terms of Brighton, and even though it was so much smaller then, I don't think it was even a city then. It was just Brighton was a town. There was a lot of traffic between Brighton and London, as in there still is now, isn't there? A lot of people commute, but there was a lot of, between the gangs, there was a lot of interaction between the London gangs and the Brighton gangs. There was a lot of drugs as well going on, so that's not a new thing. I don't think I ever assumed it was a new thing, but there was a lot of drugs, and so that was how a lot of the gangs would make their money. My aunts were very kind of open about the fact that because of the new freedoms for women, it became acceptable for them to smoke, and then so why wouldn't you try drugs? Why wouldn't you do this? Because it's like a whole thing. Like you suddenly can. You're not at home and you're not expected to follow a certain path. You can go out and do whatever you want. So you're going to say yes to more and more things, and inevitably, I think that did lead to kind of incidents, but again, they get covered up. They would talk about having to take their friends to hospital and, you know, kind of leave them on the front steps, and obviously inside knowledge with the student nursing thing. And things did still happen, but then it wouldn't be front page news, as it were, the next day. It will be something that happened and you learned from it and then you moved on, or you didn't learn from it and you didn't move on. But it was still there. You're right. It's all still there.
You didn't move on, you did it the next day or the
Because you
next
didn't have your
weekend.
bike chain on your
Again.
bike. That's why you didn't
Yeah.
move on.
Didn't cycle
You got to put
away.
it back to be able to make it work,
Didn't get back to
apparently.
London. Yeah, you had to stick with it. It's interesting though, and there was I think one of the nicest thing was that even though there was still a lot of crime, there were a couple of estates that still exist now, and their kind of sense of community in those estates, everybody would help everyone. It doesn't matter if it was like your next door neighbor. So for my second book, it does kind of, spoilers, it involves a child abduction. And I was talking to people about that, and my aunts and people who were around in Brighton at that time, and they said, yeah, I mean, stuff like that did happen, but you could have your kids playing in the street and you knew that old Henry Richards at number 6 would be watching them, and if they went down into the next road, you knew that. I know, but they actually said it. And then like Janice at number 26 in the next road would have her kids playing, and they would just let them all out from teeny weeny, and the toddlers would be toddling around with the bigger ones. And there wasn't, so for people who did intend harm, I suppose there was more opportunity, but because of the community strength, maybe almost went the other way, and there was less opportunity because everyone was watching out for everyone else. Everyone knew everyone else's business as well. They were keeping an eye on you. If you were going to be up to something, then that Janice in number 26, she would know what you were doing. So I do really like that idea.
The kind of, it takes a village.
Yeah. It's nice to think that, and I do feel like there's a couple of estates that's still on Brighton. There is still that sense of community there, and people are super strong. When something happens, they'll all come together. You know, like if a family member dies or something does happen, they will be there 100% for each other, and they will know each other. And then news was spread by word of mouth, so it's not going to be on X and you'll go, oh my god, something's happened in Brighton. You'll be there because you'll be like, oh yeah, I know, it's Mr. Richards down at number 6 or something.
So well, that's it. You wouldn't know if you were far away unless you had somebody who was going to call you and tell you. But because you didn't kind of have that distraction, I suppose, you were more likely, you know, now if you're sitting in the evening, you're probably going to be watching your TV or scrolling your phone. You're going to be distracted. You're not going to be looking out and going, oh, there goes little Timmy. What's he going up there for? Should I go out and just give him a shout, tell him to come back? You know, like you would, wouldn't you? Like, yeah. You would. I mean, you do still. I think it's a little bit like that around my way. We kind of, I'm not that we just let the children out on their own, but there is a sense of you can kind of let them out the front door and know that there are other people would go, oh, why are you doing that? But one of the biggest things that actually reduced children kind of being allowed out was traffic. Yeah, so the toddlers and stuff, a lot of it was that, you know, you don't live, I suppose you lived on a street where actually there wasn't that many vehicles. Not every household would have had a vehicle. There wouldn't be that many pulling away and going up and down the street all the time. Whereas now, if you live on a terrace street, you've got people ploughing up and down there all day long, haven't you? And going at quite speeds. And I think that's one of the things that drove the children in from the streets.
That drove the children in. How ironic.
And we hooked them up to their devices nice and early and get them ready for their future life. Hooked into devices and completely unaware of their community and what is going on around them.
Hurrah!
Hurrah! Sorted.
It is funny though, because one of my teenage kids, he'll go down to Brighton to see a film with his mates, and he'll be like, they'll go and watch a film, and when I'll be like, oh, that's lovely. They're not on their phones, they're not doing badness or whatever. But then I think, like, for me, my family 4 generations ago in Brighton, my great gran, she was doing the same thing in a completely different way, but she was going to see a film with her friends. Or it's that sense is really kind of nice.
I think that's where your cozy kind of side comes in, doesn't it, with the 60s, is the sense of community that was perhaps there that was maybe a leftover from the 50s and the Second World War, perhaps?
Yeah, and I love the whole, so I really liked the fashion. And so my co-author, who is also called Lisa, Lisa Brace, and she's a historical fiction writer. And we thought that it would be really fun to do the series together because we're both from Brighton originally. And she is so amazing at adding extra detail that I've researched and kind of glossed over. And she'll be like, oh my God, this skirt or this something. And then you go, oh yeah, that is really quite relevant. And it is really lovely. And even stuff like they would go down. So my kind of cast of characters work in hairdressers by day, and by night they turn it into a detective agency and they solve crimes in between going partying and student nursing and all that kind of thing, because you do. But yeah, so Lisa was things like they go out and they get chicken and chips. They'll go out the back of the little alleyway of the hairdressers and they'll just pop down to I think it was Big Brenda's, and that was actually a place, and she would do chicken and chips. And I managed to find, archives and stories about how she would do her chicken and chips, and the table and the little cracked salt and pepper shakers, and just tiny details. And Lisa's so good at pulling that up. I'm there with the crimes and the this and that, and she's like, no, this is a really good detail, we have to have this in. And the element of romance that she'll add in a really nice way, because I struggle with romance. I don't know if you do as well. I'm not good with romance. I
trying not to.
If romance turns up in Nikki's novel, I can guarantee you they'll also end up dead.
Someone's going to die.
At some point. Yeah. Or turn out to be a serial killer of some kind. Like she'll make you think, oh, it's romantic. And then, actually, that's the bad guy all along.
It's that darkness, and it's really hard to kind of get rid of. And when you're doing cozy, you don't want too much darkness. So I had to kind of rein it in and get Lisa, who's very good at the kind of romance element as well, to weave that into a little bit. So hopefully that is all there.
Well, it's nice to hear that your Lisa can do romance and is a good researcher. It gives me hope that it's not.
I was about to say, Nikki, I'm sure we had someone else on and they had a co-author called Lisa. I might have to go back through our archive and have a look for that. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's what they're telling you. That really, it would be perfect to have Lisa as your co-author. I mean, we have co-authored before, haven't we?
We have co-authored rather unsuccessfully, I believe, if I remember rightly.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
But if you did, would it be crime? Would it be crime and darker crime, though, because of what you two do?
For what we do. Probably.
It'd be crime, and then I'd be wanting to fantasize it, and Nikki'd be like,
"No, have fairies in there," and I'd be like, "Oh my lord,
stop it! Stop
get
it!
Them out, no, get them out.
Let's have this happen. This bizarre thing. No, Lisa, no, let's not have that happen. Oh, okay.
It could work though. Where Stranger Things is very much kind of, isn't it? Oh, if this happened, and there's a lot of darkness in there. Oh, do you know what though? I watched an interview just go completely off track. I watched an interview with the cast members with Stranger Things, and they said one of the best things about the Duff Brothers was that they could draw you into a character in 10 sentences. So 10 sentences of dialogue, and you knew about the character. And I was like, wonder if I can do that. And I read one of my books, like just a little bit, because I don't like to read them. And I thought, no, I can't.
Everybody's different. As long as it works for the reader, then it's all good, isn't it?
Yeah, I really liked that though. I'm taking that for future reference. I thought that was very clever.
Well, if you're doing a show, if you're doing a play or a performance or a film of some kind, you do need your person to get into that character quickly. Whereas in a novel, your reader is happy to spend time, aren't they? Whereas actually you've probably got quick shots. So you need that person to be able to project that character for you very quickly, which is why we have, why casting agents and casting is such a big deal, because actually you're not always looking for who's best, you're looking for who can represent what I need, what I want on the screen for that, they're kind of bit of typecasting, I suppose, going on sometimes, isn't there? And then you see people, who was I watching the other day? Noel Fielding. I watched another comedy with Noel Fielding, but it was the same Noel Fielding who is on
Was
the
it?
Bake Off and who was in Mighty
Oh.
Boosh. I was like, he's the same. He's always
Is
Noel
it?
Fielding. He
Is
does
it the
this
Dick?
character brilliantly.
The Dick Turpin
It
one, was
was
it?
the Nick
Yeah, that was
Turpin thing.
hilarious.
It was.
What
That
was
was
it? They were
right up my
saying an emerald the
street.
size of a monkey's fist or
Yeah,
something.
I know.
Like that's an
That's right up my
actual
street. The fact that it
measurement.
had, the fact that it had Laboo in it, I loved. Mighty Boosh is like my comfort telly. So I was like, yes, I'm going for this, and I enjoy Noel Fielding being Noel Fielding.
He's lovely. He is so funny. I have to find that now. I have to find. I have to watch it basically.
I feel like it got cancelled. There's only like 7, isn't there?
Yeah,
I
there's
only
only
watched
a
it
few of
recently,
them.
but there's 7 episodes, and it was on. I think it made like
Apple.
2023 or something. So I feel like, oh, they're not doing any more.
Yeah.
Oh,
The 7 are good.
That's a
It's
lot.
like, you know how I thought it was? I don't know if you ever watched Maid Marian and Her Merry Men.
Yeah.
It's like that, but for adults. It's like, that's what it felt like for me. And I adored Maid Marian and Her Merry Men with all the songs. That was
yeah.
absolutely one of my favourite things in the world. And I think they're making a musical of it. And I mean, that gives me like a reason to live, honestly. That is like, I'm like, if that ever makes it into Amdram, I will be there. I will be there.
That's the line for the audition.
My thing. I'd love it.
Well,
yeah, and Amdram.
Yeah.
well, attempting to walk it back to true crime.
This is why we can't work together.
I know this is why she go off on a tangent. I'm like, no, that's not what we agreed.
He says, not what we're doing here today. Okay, yes, Vicky.
Yes, so we're going to talk more about 60s crime in the next episode, and we're going to have a true crime off, 1960s true crime off, aren't we? Aren't we, Lisa? Yes, you did agree to that.
I've got a week, haven't I? Yes, I've got a week in between these episodes for which to do
nothing. To think about it and then do nothing.
Yeah, to do nothing until 10 minutes before we're about
TikTok
to
video
record
instead.
Again.
Yeah.
Standard.
Yeah, I know. And we are maintaining D.E. White down the rabbit hole for the week, so she can get a few more of those books written and wake her cat up so we can say hi.
I'll try
productive.
that. Yeah. That's it. That's a good thing about the rabbit hole. So it's good to be down a rabbit hole.
It is for a whole week.
Yeah.
Don't drink the coffee. That's the best advice I can give. And it isn't a jacuzzi, is what I'm going to say. So if you think it is, it's not.
It is the upside down.
Well,
found a way in.
It's the underground.
There's tube trains go past every now and again.
Yeah.
I'll just wait for Vecna to walk in. It'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Vecna and his glow up.
I'm not sure I'd want him as a guest, though. Do you? The Mines player or whatever it is. I think we're flayed enough already.
He's got a PT and he's been working hard. He's looking.
He's not going to get much nutrition out of us, is he? Right, listeners and viewers, we will see you next time. Thank you for stopping by. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.